These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
You are looking live. Who was that? Musburger that did that?
Yes, Brent Musburger.
You are looking live. That's more of a. That's not Musburger.
That's Dan Rather doing.
No, it's the other guy.
Brokaw. Tom Brokaw.
Tom Brokaw.
It's Tom Brokaw.
Looks like someone's a little lost.
I love to lick a lemon lollipop in Lilyhammer. I'm Tom Brokaw. Let's read the news. Gosh. We're live here, by the way, on the Score North YouTube channel. And no, there's no breaking news or anything. We thought it'd be fun to make Feedback Friday a truly interactive two-way street. So at least for the summer here, when we kind of have a blank canvas and some flexibility, we're going to go live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel at 10 a.m. Central Time-ish. And then we're going to go live on the Score North YouTube channel at 11 a.m.-ish for Minnesota Sports with Mackie and Judd Feedback Friday. So, yeah, you can hit us up. We'll be monitoring the YouTube comments. You can hit us up also all week long for Feedback Friday through the Score North app. There's a feedback tab. You can always send us your comments, questions, concerns, critiques, complaints, whatever you want to hit us up with here. So, all right, boys, let's fire away here. So Chris H. says, I think the talk about Jaren Hall is interesting, the fifth-round quarterback the Vikings drafted out of Brigham Young University. But I think what we should really talk about is that this was likely a trial run for the scouts, Kwesi and KOC, to move up and draft a quarterback in the future. This year gave them a chance to research quarterbacks, test their scouting abilities, so by next year they are more honed to go get the actual quarterback of the future. Maybe Jaren Hall turns into the next Nick Mullins, just a good, solid backup. That would be a success. But it proves the front office wasn't serious about getting a top quarterback this year. I love listening to you guys. Been following since the 1500 ESPN days. Really enjoy the Vikings coverage. Keep up the great work. What do you think? Do you think they kind of said, all right, this is the first, because they weren't going to do it last year after extending Kirk, right?
Right.
Do you think they used this year's draft as kind of a, we're going to go through the process like we're going to draft one of the top quarterbacks, but there's no way we're actually going to trade 3 first-round picks to move up. But let's go through the scouting process anyways.
I don't think it's that simple. I think that they probably, at the end of the day, either didn't have the stomach to pull that type of trade, or, quite frankly, there's a chance that, like, the Cardinals just said no. Like, we can do a better deal with a team like the Texans. Mm-hmm. So, like, we don't know for sure that the Vikings backed out. There's a chance that the Cardinals had 4 or 5 teams talking to them. The Vikings were one. But even the Vikings going all in, if you're going to swap picks 3 and 23, that's quite a fall, as we talked about before the draft. I do think that this probably, more than just being a trial run, I think that this probably goes along the philosophy, Phil, that you've talked about for a long time, and a bunch of people have. And it's this: if you're confident in your ability to identify quarterback talent, why not take them? Like, we've grown accustomed to, Kellen Mond didn't work, so it'll be another 5 years before we do that again. But that's not how the league really works. And so I think that this is more along the lines of, we either didn't have the stomach for or couldn't trade up to get a guy that we really, really liked. We still have to identify a guy. But all of that being said, flyers on quarterbacks, it's better to take a flyer on a quarterback and be wrong than to never take a flyer on a quarterback. And once you do and it fails, just bail. So I think it's a little bit more in depth than that. But I also think that it's what we're going to see more of from this administration now with, O'Connell and Kwesi, which is the idea of trying to bring in guys at this position for basically what amount to look-sees. And he's right. You know what? Mm-hmm. If this kid turns out to be Mullins or a guy like that for a 5th-round pick, that's nothing to be ashamed of. But we've just become so conditioned to, Rick's pick didn't work, so we're done trying to draft QBs. That's really a flawed philosophy.
Pablo Amaya chimes in, by the way, in the YouTube comments and says, I miss Declan's mustache. Man, was the main reason I watched Score North. So you got rid of the mustache, and then you also got rid of the beard. What?
Yeah, I had the beard. I grew it back for a little bit. I think I shaved it on Monday, and I thought about bringing the stash back. And even our engineer Adam, who helped us out at Park Tavern last Thursday, I was walking out of the office, and he goes, "What the hell, man? Where's the mustache? Where'd it go?"
Yeah.
So I think I'll have to bring it back. I
think you should have kept it through the draft party. Lesson learned for next year.
Yep. I think I'll do that going forward. But yeah, it'll come back. Don't worry. It'll, in due time, but it will return. It will return.
Don't worry, everyone. Okay. Everyone calm down. No panic.
A lot of
Declan's
fans
mustache will come back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So another Jaren Hall. This is, oh my God, Josh in Alaska bringing some aggressive, reckless speculation here.
Reckless speculation.
Josh in Alaska says, Jaren Hall reminds me of a smaller Trey Lance. Ooh. Could the Vikings be tipping their hand at a Trey Lance trade by drafting someone who would be similar to Lance as a backup? Lance to Hall like Cousins to Mullins. Kirky boy to the Niners. Lance to the Vikings.
Reckless speculation.
Jaren Hall, much more mobile. Get outside the pocket. Scoot around a little bit, just like Trey Lance. Are they laying some brick here? Huh? How's that novel you've been working on?
Little backup quarterback you looking for?
I love that. Like, it might be total. Who knows? That, you know what that is? That is an A right there. If that was a paper turned in, that is an A in our reckless speculation class.
Reckless speculation.
I love it, man. One of the first things I would be doing, by the way, just kind of back to the first one on Jaren Hall. I do think that I think that maybe our guy Josh in Alaska is onto something. I would not dismiss that out of hand. There's been discussions between the two teams. We've covered that. But if I'm the Vikings, I want to know, okay, of the 139 quarterbacks the last 23 years since the year 2000, of the 139 quarterbacks drafted in the fourth round or later, so just the late round flyers, which Jaren Hall is one of them, only 7 of them have actually panned out. What are the characteristics about those 7 guys? Kirk Cousins is one of them. Mm-hmm. And so I'd want to know that before I draft him. And they clearly, like, some of it's like leadership, hard work. You got to be able to pick things up quickly and essentially rise above the physical limitations and the mistakes you made in college that put you in the middle to late rounds. Dak Prescott, Tony Romo was undrafted, Matt Castle, Ryan Fitzpatrick, David Garrard. These are all like very cerebral, very smart quarterbacks that wind up, I think, just the way that they think think about and process the game, it rises above their physical limitations. Jaren Hall actually just kind of seems like he might check some of those boxes. So I'm just throwing it out there. I think I'm high on Jaren Hall. I'm high on Jaren Hall. I buy into the Tyler Forness Jaren Hall steam.
Thor hates him.
Well, okay, but Thor's been wrong before. I love Thor, but he's been wrong before.
Tyler, oh boy, okay.
So Tyler's been wrong
I
before.
Just throwing it out there.
I actually think here's my impossible to quantify, write that down prediction. I think Jaren Hall content is going to be some of the most consumed stuff we do over the next 3 to 4 months.
Of course it will be. Yeah.
Anytime we talked Kellen Mond 2 summers ago, it was like,
it was ridiculous.
It's quarterback cocaine. Absolutely.
So we'll keep an eye. Let's see here. Nathan Walls chimes in, says, you guys were talking earlier this week. You brought up that the Vikings overall are one of the worst drafts when it came to relative athletic scores of the players selected. I do understand the appeal of players who have a high RAS, but I would rather take players with a lower RAS. There's a lot of football things happening here. When you can tell that they're actually gamers and understand how to play football. The ones that pop and look impressive on game tape more than the drills of the combine on pro day.
Yep.
Or pro day.
Yep.
One example I looked up on is the biggest bust in team history. Troy Williamson scored a 9.65 out of 10 on his RAS, his relative athletic score, because he's really fast and athletic, right?
Catch the ball. Yeah.
Impressive score, but how does that help Troy catch a football or run a route? Neither of which he could do. Come to think of that, some other stars on the Vikings over the years, Dalvin Cook was only a 4.6 RAS. I'm going to take his word for these. I've not cross-referenced these. Stephon Diggs, only a 5.65. Christian Ponder got a 9.5 out of 10 RAS coming out of college, while Kirk was a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
I generally agree with this, that give me the guy that can play football, but, you know, if you can run a 4.3 40, it matters. But if you can't catch a pass, that also matters.
Among the most important things, in my opinion, that Jordan Addison said in his press conference here was his love to run routes, the artistic notion of running a route.
Mm-hmm.
How nice is that? Like, if that's the truth, because if you can't run a route, you basically can't play. I'm sorry. You can run a go route, but that's it. So I agree with the philosophy, and I'm not saying that I want a bunch of guys that aren't talented athletically, but I think the starting point for pro success is the ability to process and to learn or have at least sports smarts. You don't have to be, I don't care if you're good in school. I don't care if you're a social whiz or not. What I care about is one thing. Are you sports smart?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've met some incredibly dumb people who are sports smart, and you know what? They are valuable because of that.
So Urban asks on the YouTube channel, what was Tom Brady's RAS, his relative athletic score? So
Yes,
they do have it at raz.football. You want to guess?
yeah, because I'm guessing it's going to be awful. I'm guessing he got, so it's 10, right? It's out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he scored a 4.
Declan, have you looked this up yet or no?
No, I haven't. I'm going to go 2.
Declan's closer, a 2.7. Now it includes your height and your weight, and then your vertical jump, broad jump, short shuttle, 3-cone drill. Yeah,
All things TV probably was awful.
40-yard, your 40-yard dash plus your 20-yard split, your 10-yard split, your 40-yard dash miles per hour.
Yep.
And then your hand size and your arm size. The only thing, actually, it's funny. He scored well on 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
Height, 9.2 out of, so 92nd percentile, and the 3-cone drill.
Oh, good job.
Okay.
So like ability to move around in tight spaces, which is kind of,
Well, yeah, that's sort of
what it is,
true.
right?
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
good.
He was an 89th percentile on the 3-cone drill. But that 2.7 RAS is one of the lowest RAS scores you'll see from anyone in the combine. You know what his 40-yard dash time was, Tom Brady?
Oh, over 5.
5.24.
Yeah.
Took
He
him
was
a half hour to run the
chunky.
40.
Oh,
There was
chunky back
that
then, too.
the hilarious
that
photo of
chunky,
him
was-
of his pre-draft where he's just like standing there in his underwear and he's got like a little bit of a belly even.
He's doughy.
Like it's, yeah.
He had a dad bod when he was 20.
Not chunky.
Yeah.
He was doughy.
Yeah.
Now it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So now I would caution to say that, well, Tom Brady had a 2.7 RAS score, therefore RAS doesn't matter. I think for quarterbacks, it matters a little bit less because how fast you process information and how quickly you make decisions and how accurate you are as a passer is going to be more important than any of the athletic traits. But for other positions, if you're an edge rusher, if you're a linebacker, if you're a cornerback, how do you recover? Oh my God, I took a step in and the receiver is running a go route. Can I recover, right? Some of the athletic stuff matters more for other positions. If you're a quarterback, it matters a little. I think I want a quarterback that can move a little, who's not 5'7". So, and then for offensive linemen, doesn't really matter that much. Matters
Those
a
guys
little,
are
but-
often super smart, though.
Yeah.
Like they
How-
process
again, processing
things quickly.
information.
I want
and-
my cornerbacks to be athletic, but I also need them to be smart because like that's where you get how to grab a guy subtly and things like that. Like if you're just a moron and you're hitting a guy 10 yards down field and you're a cornerback, it's a flag, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, this guy athletically was talented, but was not big. Think about how smart Antoine Winfield was, though.
Mhm.
Like just the subtle stuff that he
Let's look
knew.
that up. Let's see if
He
it is
was
RAS.
he was a freaking smart guy, and those are guys that play for a long time because they basically, in a good way, game the system. They figure it out.
Let's see here. Antoine Winfield relative athletic score. No, they have. This might be his kid.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
might.
this is.
When,
Oh no,
when did Raz start?
no, this is first round pick, 1999.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you guess Antoine Winfield Senior's RAS is out of 10? So Tom Brady was a 2.7, Anthony Richardson is a 10.
Antoine was small, so that's going to hurt his Raz for sure.
He did get dinged on the height. He was 5'9" and dinged on the weight 170. Dude, he was 5'9", 176.
Yeah, he was a small dude. I'm going to guess his Raz because he was a good athlete, but probably not off the charts. I'm going to go with a 6.5.
Yeah, I was being the 5.5 range.
9.3.
Oh, okay. Well, then totally wrong. Totally wrong on the Raz.
But if you think about it, so he was a first-round pick. He was the 23rd overall pick.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a guy who's 5'9", 176, and he's going to play outside corner potentially, how crazy athletic he would have to be to make that happen. So this is so interesting. He ran a 4.4 40-yard dash. Now, by the time he got to the Vikings, he wasn't running a 4.4 anymore, right?
Right.
He was further into his 20s. And by the end, he was not. You could have made an argument he could have moved to safety if he would have kept playing. But he had a 97th percentile 40-yard dash. He had a 97th percentile short shuttle.
Football.
And a 96th percentile 3-cone drill. Antoine Winfield, elite agility grade.
Yeah.
Great explosion grade.
Hell of a player.
Oh my God. Give me another. This is, by the way, I'm getting
I
these
saw-
at Relative Athletic Scores website. It's raz.football.
I saw someone ask for more Boeingers.
Let me see. Here.
Mobos. Is he even going to pop up? I know they draft him off YouTube, essentially. It's like drafting.
Yeah,
Purple
I don't know
Daily.
that because he wasn't a combine guy, right? So I don't know.
Well, they sometimes they get these from pro days, but
Okay.
Moritz Boehringer. look
The
at
German
us right
YouTube.
now. Relative
The German
Athletic Scores.
YouTube was my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Rick Spielman.
Oh, I
Rick
have it
Spielman
right
just
here.
walking-
I have it right here.
All right.
Dude, this is a great website. It's MathBomb is I follow MathBomb on Twitter. This is the guy that compiles all of these combine grades and everything into so there's a pro day and combine numbers in here. All right, Moritz Boehringer, what's his RAS score?
I'm going to go high. I bet it was like 7.
Yeah, that's probably about right. 6.5.
Dude, 9.98.
Okay, I'm done with Raz now.
But no, don't be done with it. Raz, it's quantitative.
Yeah.
This is right. So it's all percentiles. How tall are you versus everyone else?
Right.
How what is your weight compared to everyone else? What is your 40 time compared to everyone else? So Moritz Boehringer, 6'4", 227 pounds, a freight train size wise, who ran a 4.43 40-yard dash at his. No, that was at the pro day.
That was in Germany.
Is that an unofficial German stopwatch?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 4.4.
receiver in all the world.
Rick Spielman being lured in by the German YouTube.
Oh, it's hilarious. We'll take suggestions in the comments as we sprinkle these in. Give me a few more. We'll get to more comments here, but let's do like 2 or 3 more obscure or historical Raz scores here before the end of the show. Let's see here. Jamie K says, "Hey Phil, was listening to your Karl Anthony Towns reckless trade speculation episode. Heard you drop the name Scoreville. I think I said something about us being in Scoreville and not being afraid to recklessly speculate. I came up with this, that we all live in Scoreville. Feel free to use this as a merchandise idea. All I ask for is a name drop and a free Scoreville shirt. Scoreville, where Minnesota sports fans come together and celebrate, but mostly get sports therapy for all the decades of sports heartbreak us Minnesota sports fans have endured. Young and old come together as one in this safe community. I love living in Scoreville, home of reckless speculation. Our motto is win just one before we die. We will no longer settle for mediocrity for our Minnesota sports teams. We have moved from Minnesota nice to Scoreville, where we demand more from our sports teams. There are plenty of lots for sale in Scoreville. Come move here today."
Sounds like a Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Sounds like a monorail episode.
Imagine,
of
if you
Simpsons.
will, a town where success is fleeting.
Scoreville, where the same season goes on repeat.
yep,
Every
Scoreville.
It's just the same
Where
wild
wide
season
left-
on repeat.
Where
Same wide left kicks.
causes neighbor to turn on neighbor in Scoreville.
People are asking for the Randy Moss Raz.
Oh,
11.7 out of 10.
Let's see here.
Jimmy Kleinsasser. We got Joe
Line
Webb.
sauce will be great.
Okay, Randy. Oh man, I'm just gonna go. Well, you guys can guess if you want to.
Moss was probably a 9, right? Like I gotta imagine he was an athletic
I'd guess
freak.
above that. I'd guess a 9.9, something ridiculous.
Moss was very, very high, but not quite Moritz Boringer high. 9.67. So 9.7 was his RAS score. He actually was kind of mediocre in like the vertical jump and the broad jump. He might have also just not been trying hard in these drills at the combine. He did run a 4.38 40 at the combine. The pro days are always a little suspicious. He ran a 4.25 at his pro day. But that's like 25 years ago, pro day and stopwatch. So we'll see. Laquan Treadwell.
Oh, I'm going to guess his was not that high because he was not that fast. First of all, I'm going to guess a 7.1.
I'll go 8.5. He was a first round pick. Like
3.3.
No.
That makes this even worse, right? So he was, in terms of height and weight, 6'2", 220, but he ran a 4.6 40 at his pro day. He was also coming off injury. You could maybe
he tore up that knee really badly.
Yep. He had a 33rd percentile vertical jump. He had a 35th percentile short shuttle. And dude, these are pro day numbers, so you can fudge these a little bit. Amazing. His speed grade was poor. His explosion grade was poor. His agility grade was poor. And they drafted him 23rd overall. What were they thinking?
Yeah,
and he's coming off devastating injuries where they like, oh, once he heals, then he'll be fine.
Yeah, probably. That's probably exactly. Yeah,
Do we have Jimmy Kleinsasser? I need to know
I
this
love,
one. This is a full
I love Kleinsasser. H-back, too.
If they have him in here, how far back does this database go? I don't think they have him. No, I don't think they have him. Because that goes back to like the mid-90s, right? I don't see a Jim Kleinsasser.
Well, it's Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
Calvin Johnson.
I got to imagine this was like 9.9.
Yep.
Just a freak.
Okay, hold on a second. All right, this is riveting content here, I know, for people as we Google relative athletic scores on the show. 10, straight up 10 for Calvin Johnson.
Got to imagine.
And that's why he was the number 2 overall pick. 6'5", 240 pounds, and ran a 4.35 40. So you can see it does matter, but obviously if you can't catch a pass or run a route, then all right, you're just like a track star.
Right. You're
just Usain Bolt, I guess.
Yep.
So a shout out to our friends here. And by the way, thanks several hundred of you hanging out with us here on the Score North YouTube channel. So thank you. Please click subscribe and the like button. We're going to make these just a regular feature on Fridays here during the summer. Live streams at 10 o'clock on the Purple Daily YouTube channel and at 11 o'clock Central Time on the Score North YouTube channel. Our friends at EcoFun, my goodness, electric bikes are in stock and on sale for spring. You can save up to $400 on new electric bikes. Stop in, take one for a demo ride, or if you live that scooter life like Dex and old Macadac do, you can save $300 off the total price of a new Yamaha Zuma 125 fuel-injected scooter. And if you're into the side-by-side game, $2,000 savings on the most popular Yamaha RMAX 1000 side-by-sides. EcoFun for all your summer transportation outdoor needs.
Calling your name right there, baby.
I love me a good scooter ride.
Riding around downtown.
Especially if I'm going to go to the suburbs. I'm going to need a big old scooter to get into work,
Declan on his little scooter
in Woodbury, in some cul-de-sac, in some little cul-de-sac.
Risking my life across Radio Drive in Woodbury. Just
roundabout, beep beep.
Oh my God! Just go straight through the roundabout. All right, let's see here. Charles Raymond says, "Did you catch the Wild's year-end press conference? Wow. Dean Evason was not sporting any Wild swag whatsoever,
but he did have his big tattoos, which he was showing.
Does he have Wild tattoos though?
No, but he's got some impressive ink.
He's got like some bicep tattoos.
He would kick our ass 6 ways to Sunday.
Well, here's Charles's speculation. Charles says, I think when Dean arrived at the building, he thought his time was over. That's why he didn't wear a Wild shirt or Wild gear. I think Billy has converted into one of us and has adapted to Minnesota nice. if you knew you were going to do a season-ending press conference for your team, your franchise, wouldn't you wear a wild polo, a wild quarter zip, a wild?
I don't think
something?
I don't think, and we could probably find this to confirm it. I don't think Dino wore any wild gear to last year's presser because he often wears like a short, like just enough short sleeve to sport those tats to remind you he can kick your ass.
Yeah, I remember even there was like an introductory or a preseason press conference in the summer, and he just had like a medium polo on. I shouldn't say medium. The guy's just jacked. Like it's not a medium at all.
It's incredible.
He was just wearing like a plain blue polo that was not team issued or league issued by any means.
He's got the big eyes.
I think if you were even like 30% sure that you were going to get fired, you definitely wouldn't wear, like you're not gonna. If Judd rolled in, if our vice president Dan said, "Hey Judd, I need to see you before the show on Friday morning. If you could bring a box, you're not going to wear your Score North quarter zip, are you?"
You throw it off right in front of him is what you do if that happens, though.
You just take it off and spike it on the floor.
Throw it back at him. That's what you do.
Won't be needing this anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, people asking for Adrian Peterson. Now, did he go through all the... Oh, here it is. Okay. I thought maybe he didn't go through all the...
That's going to be a 9.8 to 10.
It's a 9.
I mean,
9.6.
Yeah, there's no way that guy wouldn't.
So 6'1", 217. Let's see here. Explosion grade, elite. Speed grade, elite. Ran a 4.4 in the 40-yard dash. He had a 97th percentile broad jump and a 94th percentile vertical jump. What about is there no bench press in here? Oh, there it is. Some guy, he didn't do the bench press.
I would also not do the bench press.
Well, he couldn't. He couldn't because he was he coming off a broken collarbone?
Oh, okay.
Well, that'd be my excuse too. But yeah, I would also skip that one.
Yeah.
People are asking for Refrigerator Perry and Gilbert Brown relative athletic scores. I don't think they go that far back, do they?
No, they don't, right?
Gilbert Brown was the early 90s. Refrigerator was the 80s.
Oh my God. Is this right?
I don't know.
Yes. Gilbert
When did we
Brown.
start to talk about Raz?
Well, I think he's going back retroactively and probably filling some of these in.
Okay.
So Gilbert Brown, 3rd round pick, 1993 by the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
What was his relative athletic score?
3.
Nailed it. 3.1.
Okay.
So his weight was 97th percentile because he was 330 pounds coming out of college.
Yeah, he showed up real fat.
But
got jettisoned here and went to the Packers and had a great career.
Dude, Gilbert Brown ran a faster 40-yard dash at the combine than Tom Brady did.
Oh my God.
He ran a let's see here, a 5.1 40-yard dash. And he had 15th percentile short shuttle. Gilbert Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious. Okay, let's see here. Brian Pauly chimes in here via the Score North app. Not sure if I've heard you guys cover this before, but why is the regular hockey season 82 games spread across 7 months?
Oh, God.
In a league where roughly half the teams make the playoffs and each playoff series is best of 7, it shouldn't take 82 games to figure out who makes the playoffs and who doesn't.
Correct.
The playoff format itself ensures the best team advances. Well, I don't know if that's the case. You probably need to play to 47 if you wanted that to be the case sometimes in hockey. But look at the teams that would have been in the playoffs before the All-Star break. Beyond Florida, is there any other teams that's fate changed in the second half? Just seems like an unnecessarily long regular season. Yeah, but the owners the Wild put 19,000 people in that arena for 41 games.
Wild? Yeah.
The Wild?
Basketball's the same way, though. Like, both of the seasons, NBA and National Hockey League, should be cut down.
Yep.
The regular season should not be as long. And what's maddening is they've added playoffs, right? Like the NBA now has play-in games. They don't even count those. They don't even know where to put those stats.
Yeah. I would make the argument, for instance, here's a parallel for you guys, okay? Luke Bryan's on tour right now. The country guy.
Yeah.
The sort of the pop country guy, twangy guy.
Tight jeans.
From what I can see, Luke Bryan appears to be playing pretty much every night from now until like the end of 2023. That seems like an unnecessarily long schedule for Luke Bryan. I don't know that I need that much Luke Bryan in my life touring around the country. But if 17,000 people and stadiums are going to pay, $100 a ticket to go see Luke Bryan,
Right.
Try telling Luke Bryan to cut down on his schedule. That's what's happening in the NHL and the NBA.
And why is baseball still 162 games when they have done the same thing, added playoffs?
And they're not even filling their stadiums.
I
No.
know.
Could you argue that they should reduce the games and that the same amount of people would show up? You just have, instead of 12,000 fans for a game, maybe you have 30, or would they just lose? They might just lose the attendance altogether.
What's up, Dex?
I was going to say that, number one, the best thing the NHL did during that pandemic season was the 52 games or whatever it was. Was it 55? It was perfect. It started in the new year. Now, classic Wild fashion. It was over the first week of May, but that was great. It was 5-6 months, and that was it. And people will fly to it. Like, I had to drop my fiance off at the airport. She's seeing T Swift this weekend in Nashville. She's flying to Nashville.
Dude, wow.
To go see T
Must
Swift.
be nice. You guys are flushing the cash.
I'm not. It's not my cash, but I'm dropping her off at the airport. But yeah, they're going because what they
T
did
Swift not
was
playing here?
she is in like I think a few weeks, but because of the Ticketmaster kerfuffle, both of her and her best friend were both on Ticketmaster. She lives in Nashville. She's here, or obviously we're based here. And whoever got in first and whoever got the most reasonable tickets won the battle, and Nashville won the battle.
Dude, I'd go to Nashville to see Taylor Swift. Nashville's a
too.
super fun town.
It's a
I
great
thought
I'd go
about
see
town.
pretty much anyone in Nashville.
I agree
Yeah,
with Phil.
Going.
Yeah.
I love Nashville. Great drinking town.
We're getting some, by the way, Cliff Tang says we need a Purple Daily World Tour. We'll work on that for 2024. Be kind of fun. We'll show up in a random NFC city near you and criticize your team.
Amsterdam.
Okay. Amsterdam. That's where we'll go.
Eat some brownies in Amsterdam.
Yes. The best brownies. So, okay, so movie rewind. By the way, if you're new to the Score North thing here in the last year, maybe you haven't been around for movie rewind Fridays. We've been doing these for like 3 or 4 years now. And we do action movie rewinds. On Fridays, we'll start next week. We might do a Thursday one next week because Friday we're going to be reacting to the schedule coming out. But so we're looking for suggestions for rom-coms, for action movies, but we've already done like 70 action movies.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spend some time and try and compile like, we've got some of them on the Score North YouTube channel. We should almost create just like a separate podcast feed with all of everything we've done, like the 100 movie reviews we've done, and just put it in a separate podcast feed so people can catch up. Were you going to say, Judd?
Yeah. Is there a genre that we haven't embarked on that's worth it?
Well,
Like
horror.
sports we've done.
We've done a
Yeah, we've done
couple
some
horror
horror.
movies.
We've done some horror.
Yeah. But I think that's such a niche and acquired taste.
Oh, and
Yeah,
I
sure.
have acquired it.
Horror. And I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
are, but like,
Yeah.
from an
Yeah, you're not
audience
wrong on
building,
that.
executive producing standpoint, we are really pigeonholing ourselves if we want to review, a Knock at the Cabin. In my
A
opinion,
Knock at
anyway.
the Cabin? Is that
Yeah.
Is that a
That-
movie?
Yeah, it came out like a few months. It's the one with
Hello?
Batista. It's an M. Night
Okay.
Shyamalan movie.
Oh, I gotta
Actually,
see
you
that
know
one.
what? To be honest, that was a bad example because I kind of want to review that one. But like you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have some suggestions coming in here. Alex Pachetti says, for rom-com movie rewind, you guys got to do Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh,
Thank me later. I need to hear Judd recap that movie.
It's a great movie. I've seen it. It's fantastic.
It's an amazing movie.
one of my all-time favorites. But the parameters though too of like some of our listeners
It's almost
maybe
too
don't
good.
understand. Some of those movies are so like we should do Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which is like literally one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, we should do
But
that.
we all love it. Like we
No,
we
but
gotta
there's a million things to make fun of in those movies.
that's
Yep.
true too. Yeah.
I think for both those
Yep,
movies,
I'm
there's
fine with
plenty-
those movies.
We just need movies that we can make fun of things.
Crazy Stupid Love is fantastic.
Oh, great movie.
So is Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I'm
yes.
putting that on
Yes.
this here too.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall's
Oh
hilarious.
god.
And then Guzzo chimes in and says, for sports movies, Fever Pitch would be a nice movie to do a deep dive on. Yes.
We did that one. We did
Did
Fever
we?
Pitch. Yes, we did Fever Pitch.
Yes, we did. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the,
Jimmy Fallon.
the Red Sox one, right? Yeah.
Plus
they
Red Sox fan.
adapted. Yeah.
Okay, so I only, for the
Stand.
sports
And Drew.
movies, the only ones I have written down are, it was a rom-com. That's why.
Yeah.
I was looking at the sports
Yeah.
movies. We have Major League, Big League, Little Big League, Any Given Sunday. That was a great review. Mighty Ducks, Draft Day, great one. And Mr. Baseball.
Hey, what's the
So-
one? What's the one where it starts and it's a football game in the pouring rain and the running back is about to score and the linebacker's there and he takes out a gun and shoots him?
Someone
What-
suggested
oh.
that this week.
What
Hold on.
movie is that?
It's The Last Boy Scout.
Okay, yeah, that's right, with Bruce Willis.
I've never seen that.
He's about to score a touchdown. He's trying to get by the linebacker, and he takes out a handgun from his pants and shoots him.
You could argue that's about the only way Ed Donatel's defense could have stopped someone last year. Huh?
Oh boy!
Hi-oh.
I didn't mean for it to go that way.
So hit us up in the YouTube comments with movie suggestions, and we'll start doing those next week and going forward. And because I feel like we started doing these during the pandemic in 2020, and I just feel like there's a lot of people that weren't maybe listening or watching the shows then. So we should find a way to just put them all in a podcast feed so you can go back and binge. We've redone like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
but maybe this is a project for maybe old AJ can help us out like a Saturday when it's slow. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, all right, that's all I got for feedback from the Score North app, boys. Good session here.
Slapshot as well. I don't think we've done that one.
We have not done Slapshot.
No.
Slapshot
That
might
is
be
literally
fun.
your favorite movie, though.
It's one of it. Yeah. Oh, it's right up there. I don't like how it ends, but I love the entire thing up until then.
Okay. We'll add it to the list.
They didn't
So,
know
yeah,
what to do
so
at the end.
a live edition of Feedback Friday here. We're going to do this. We're going to go live on the Purple Daily channel. Oh, look at that Bennington right there.
That's a very nice Bennington.
That's nice. Do we need to talk about that, Bennington?
We do need to talk about. We have an extra read this week, so I was just showing off these great boats because we have a third.
Oh
read.
my!
Oh, that's
gosh.
a not so
Well,
subtle way to get at the spot, but that Bennington looked fantastic.
We'll happily talk about that.
Tell me more about that Bennington, Phil.
Show us your Bennington. Yes. Oh my goodness. So, Power Lodge and Miller Marine are your places to go for throttle therapy on both the land and the water. Cruise the water in luxury on a brand new Bennington pontoon from the Power Lodge. Enjoy the sunset from the water. Entertain the kids if you're the sports dad, and float on all the lakes all summer long as you're trying to maybe just refresh and reset after more disappointing Minnesota sports seasons coming to an end.
Sports dad in back, sound to sleep, enjoying it. The soothing nature. Think about that too. Think about how soothing. You know what? Sports therapy and sports in this state, there are a lot of things. They are not soothing. That Bennington, think about laying down there, just enjoying the sun. No worries about kickers. No worries about face-offs or penalty kill. The only thing on your mind is exactly how great it feels to be out on a beautiful day.
PowerLodge.com and MillerMarine.com. We appreciate Power Lodge and Miller Marine jumping on board, supporting us at Score North. Go support them and give yourself the throttle therapy that you need. All right, boys. That's your Feedback Friday here. Live edition of Feedback Friday. 10 o'clock on Fridays on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. 11 o'clock on Fridays on the Score North YouTube channel. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on Purple Daily.